Hello everybody and welcome to the next episode of Marketers on the Move. And today I've got a very special guest for you because not often do I get the chance to talk to someone who's got technical expertise and at the same time is easy to talk to. His name is John Moss. Hello John, how are you?
Hi Peter, I'm really good, thank you.
Well, I really appreciate this because it's something. I'm a technophobe, and by the way, John knows that, okay? I'm a technophobe, but he can actually talk to me in a way that even old people like me with no technical knowledge can understand it. But before we get on to that, let me give you his bio, and I'm going to read it, okay? I hope you don't mind me reading because I can't remember it all. John has been involved in internet marketing for about 12 years, and that puts him in a top echelon of people because not many marketers have been online for more than 12 years. So he's not only just technically got a hell of a lot of experience behind him. He's originally from the UK, but he now lives in Brisbane, Australia. John's an IT professional with 20 years of experience, and he specialises in IT systems integration. If you're not sure what that means, don't worry about it, okay? But his passion is designing and implementing website blogs for his private clients. So if you have a blog or you want to start a blog or you're having problems with your blog, this is the man you need to talk to. John can help you design your personal site and provide expert assistance to integrate your appointments calendar, your autoresponder, your SEO, your channels of media, such as podcasts and videos. And if you don't understand any of the things I've said, don't worry about it because John is the person that can answer those questions for you. And to be quite frank with you, you don't need to know anything about it just now because if you've got John in your team, he'll do it for you, okay? So he can help you create a very successful blog or a website. And I think I'm smiling when I'm saying this because, John, I've got the ugliest website on the internet, right? And I should be employing you as well. So, and that's probably what's going to happen.
Hey.
Can I ask you some questions?
You certainly can.
All right, here we go. My first question is this. What does a successful blog actually look like?
That's a great question, Peter. Thank you. Firstly, you need a great domain name. Now that's your address on the internet, which is simple to remember, like yourname.com. Secondly, your site needs to have a clean, good-looking theme, which loads quickly. So it's really friendly. When somebody comes to your website, it looks really, really good, but simple and it's not overcomplicated. It must contain great content, which is easy to digest and makes the reader think, yes, that was really valuable, and it answers their question or query, gives them a feel-good factor that you've actually helped them out. Now the website, all of your blog posts must contain solutions to the biggest problems or challenges that you have faced in that particular niche, in the area that you're interested in. So if you can share what's helped you to overcome one of your biggest problems or challenges in life, then there's a pretty big chance that it'll resonate with a whole lot of other people too.
Okay, John, my next question is based on what you just shared because you said that content is important, that people have got to find what you've got on your website is valuable to them. Otherwise they won't come back. Is that correct?
Indeed, yeah.
So that raises an issue that many people might have, and that is, where can I find content for my blog posts?
Well, absolutely. One of the problems with content is that it can be replicated all around the internet. You could actually go and buy a piece of content that somebody else has written, but there's a good chance that somebody else has bought that as well. What we're looking for is unique, original content that someone else is going to read, but is unique to you. It also really helps with the search engines that your content is unique. So what you've got to think about is, what do I know? And your personal niche might naturally fall into certain categories, which you can then break down into smaller sub-niches. And that might be your area of knowledge. And indeed, it's a good idea to have a sub-niche that is not unique, but it's not all over the internet. So your blog posts that you write are based on something that somebody who's interested in your niche will go looking for on Google. And that can be your blog title. And therefore, it's an idea for an original blog post. Other ideas might include writing a review of a product or a service relevant to your niche, or maybe about a company in your industry. Or you could maybe make a top 10 list. This could be the top 10 best XYZ in your industry, or top 10 worst ABC in your industry. But your content needs to be unique. Somebody else might tell you to go and buy a PLR package, which is private label rights. So this is content that somebody else has written. But you would need to adapt that so that it's unique content. So what I'm saying is try your very best to start with unique content. Does that
By
answer
the
your
way,
question,
John,
Peter?
yeah, it does, but just as a quick aside, the idea of lists is very important. I think it's very popular. The 10X or the top 5, Y, whatever it may be. And that was a really good clue. Okay? So if you can combine that with your area of interest and passion, right, which will become your area of expertise. That's what it amounts to, right, over a period of time.
Yes.
One of the things people are worrying about is, but I'm not an expert. But I'm just going to suggest, I'm hoping you're going to agree with me, that you don't have to be an expert these days. Google is your best friend, right? Just go into Google, put your key term into Google, find in Google the bits that you want, and then just paraphrase them in your own words, and you've got yourself a blog post.
Yeah,
Do you agree with that?
Completely agree. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, Peter.
So you haven't got to be a novelist to do that. All you got to do is be able to put some basics together.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my 2 cents worth, John. Sorry.
No problem at all.
Tell me, question number 3. Okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Now, we've covered off the need for good quality, unique content, right? But John, what else can I have on my blog?
Well, your blog might consist of text-only posts, which is, it's just words. There might be a couple of images on there, but you've got the opportunity to share other types of media on your website. Now, these include video. So video is probably the most popular form of information consumption, as people are much happier to watch a 5-minute video, I know I am, than read a 1,000-word blog post. So we can easily add videos to your blog. Now, it could be that you have a YouTube channel already. You might have recorded a few videos, but we can incorporate the content that you've already had prepared and put that into your blog and surround it with the words that will bring people to your website. And we'll talk about SEO in a bit, but it will allow your page with a video to be found in the search engine, because it's relevant and Google will like that. So you have video, but you've also got the option for audio-based content in the form of, well, it could be a podcast. I think we all know how popular podcasts are at the moment. And you can incorporate those podcasts onto your blog. And in the same way, we can surround the podcast file, the audio file, with the right words, so that somebody searching for your subject, and as we've mentioned, your sub niche, will then be able to find your content in Google. And I say Google likes that sort of thing. So the blogs, I don't know whether you're aware of any blog sites yourself, Peter, but there's a couple that spring to mind for me: Spreaker.com and Buzzsprout.com. which I recently found for one of my clients.
Good. Well, that raises another issue for me. Well, not an issue, but it's a question I'd like you to answer, because in your earlier bio, we talked about the importance of a thing called an autoresponder, right?
Yes.
And I said to people, If you don't know what this is, doesn't matter because John's going to explain it. So I want to honour my promise to the people in this particular video. I'd like to ask you a question about that. Is that okay?
It certainly is. No problem at all.
Okay, so my next question is all about a thing called a lead magnet. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, John's going to explain in a minute. But the idea of using an autoresponder is the fact that emailing and building an email list could be one of the most valuable assets you'll have online. Is that correct, John?
It is, yeah. So as we mentioned earlier, it's really important that you capture at least the email address of a visitor to your blog or your website. And for this, you'll need an opt-in form from your autoresponder, and we'll just talk about that in a second, along with an ethical bribe to give your visitor something in exchange for your email address. Now that could be an ebook, it could be a video, or maybe a content-packed webinar that, you know, that it's something that the visitor will come and they'll say, well, that looks really good and I'll get that by just simply submitting my email address. So that's what's going on in there.
Or even a podcast maybe?
Or a podcast, yeah. So, you know, you will then have their email address, which will automatically load into what's called an autoresponder. So an autoresponder is a web-based software. So there's a number of them around on the internet. There's Aweber, GetResponse. Peter, can you help me out?
Constant Contact. There's a whole range of them. Infusionsoft.
And then it automatically sends an email straight to your visitor's inbox. And that email will say, thank you very much for subscribing. Here's a link to your ethical bribe, which is really good. Now, the other thing that you can do once you've got their email address, you don't contact them just the once. You can then follow up with them using your email. And so that means that the subscriber gets an email from you once a week, twice a week. It's entirely up to you. Now, most autoresponders allow you to integrate seamlessly into WordPress, which is the blogging platform that I prefer, and thousands and thousands, and I would say maybe even millions of people around the world also use. So it's a simple way to create an opt-in form that we upload to your WordPress website, and all of the chains and the links are all done in the background, and it allows your visitor to receive emails from you as a subscriber to your email list.
Which I want to make a point about, and just help me out here, John. The reason why it's called an autoresponder is simply because I assume you can load up all your emails in advance. Even though they go out once a week, you can do them all. You can have 10 or 15 emails all ready to go, and it's hands-free. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. You can load up 30 days worth of content, 60 days worth of content, and once it's there, it'll stay there, and it will be delivered to your new subscribers who might subscribe on day 31, and you don't have to do anything with those because you've already got 30 days in the bag. So yeah, that's one of the best things an autoresponder is there for.
Good. Okay. So have you got time for one more question?
One more question.
All right. Sound like a school teacher. Because this is important. I mean, we're talking about the fact that people can go to your blog and opt in, and that therefore join your email list, right? And within the realms of that, okay, is a question I'd like to ask you. Is that okay?
Yep, no problem.
So my last question, John, and thank you very much for sharing your time with me, is I understand and I appreciate the importance of building an email list, okay? But how in the heck do you get people to come to your blog in the first place so they can join your list? What's the secret of that?
The secret is being found by the search engines, whether it's Google or whether it's Bing, or there's others out there. What we need to use is search engine optimization, which is SEO. So that officially is the practice of increasing the quantity and quality of traffic to your website through organic search engine results. In other words, when you search for something in Google, your website or your blog needs to be towards the top and without being a paid for listing.
Are you talking about trying to be on page 1?
Your ideal scenario is that you get on page 1. That is very, very difficult. But people search further than that, fortunately. So to get onto page 2 or page 3 of the search listings using SEO alone is quite an achievement. And I can help you with that. So what does SEO do? What is SEO? What we can do is we can tag certain things on your web page, like a picture. Now, this picture, this photograph, or an infographic might, on its own, be of only use to the visitor as he reads or she reads. But what we can do is we can tag that image with the keywords, maybe even the same as the reader has searched for initially. So it could be the title of your blog post, so that there's other things other than your title or your content, your images are tagged as well. And that really helps to confirm to Google that your site is, or your particular page is relevant to what the visitor is looking for. So what the importance is.
So can I interrupt you, John?
Of course
You're tagging the images or the photos with the keyword. That's what you're saying, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And the keyword is something that people are searching for in Google, right?
Yes, okay. Indeed. So for each of your pages, the content must be relevant to the user intent behind the search query. So, Google has to determine, or the search engine has to determine, that everything is relevant. So it crawls your website. And I think they're called search spiders. And they crawl your website looking for the most relevant blog posts to what your potential visitor has searched for. And there are WordPress tools that we can use to improve the chances of the search engine listing our blog pages high in the rankings, so people can find what they're searching for on your site naturally, rather than you having to spend hundreds of dollars or pounds or whatever your currency is on advertising, which obviously is a completely different kettle of fish altogether.
When you say people can find you via Google, that's when you're referring to it as organic traffic, right? Free traffic.
Free traffic.
Okay. Now, I assume, John, that people, may be challenged a bit with this whole thing called SEO, because I put my hand up, I was too, for 10 years, right? But are you saying that you can help them? They haven't got to be the technical expert. You can actually help them do that for them?
Absolutely. We use a traffic light system, which basically determines whether or not your SEO is ready to be found by the search engines. And it's a service that I offer.
Sounds good. Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you. And I know many people would like to reach out to you because they can see that you are not only technically an expert in all this IT stuff, which leaves me completely dry, right? But also someone that can help people go step by step and show them how to do things in a way that's not going to blow them out of the water technically. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, we need to know how they can contact you. So share with me, what are some of the best ways that people can contact you?
Okay, by email, which is my preferred method, which is john@johnmoss.online. And then we've got the website that goes with that, which is johnmoss.online. Or you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/JonathanMossOnline.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed, John. And thank you also for sharing your time with me. I really did appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. It's great to speak to you, Peter.
Okay. Bye for now.
Cheers.